Hi everyone, this is a video tutorial on how to use your habit and goal tracker spreadsheet. This row number 1 here is just an instruction. Feel free to hide this row by clicking on row 1, right click, and then select hide row here. You can also do the same for the habit tracker, right click and then hide row. So this is a sheet to help you set your goals. There are 7 goals allowed here. Please start with writing your goal categories in the dark cell here to each of these goals. Then please write your goal here, your why, your biggest obstacle here, your reward, what would you like to do once the goal is achieved. I've also allowed some space here in the first row of every goal for inspirational quotes. So all of these in white cells are editable. So you can insert your favorite quote that is related to the goal. This is optional, so you don't have to do it. But if you find any quote that inspire you to achieve your goal, feel free to write it here. This one here is your step-by-step to get there. So you can write and list your milestone here. Due dates are optional. You can enter your due date. You can enter the date by double-clicking on the cell. This little calendar will appear, and please select the deadline of each step. So I can choose, for example, 30th of May for the deadline of this milestone here. However, if you're using a tablet or phone, the interface is slightly different with using a desktop, so this drop-down might not appear. So to enter the date, you might have to write the date. So for example, if I want to enter 30th of May, type the month and then the date, then click enter. And then, of course, you can use the checkbox to check off each milestone once it's achieved. Once you've done that, you can see that this progress chart will be updated. You can also see the overall progress is also updated. It will also update this diagram here. So you can see the progress of each of your goals summarized in this bar chart here. So this column I here is optional. So you can insert your inspirational image here. So now I'm going to show you how to insert an image here. Once you found the image that you want, for example, this one, take a screenshot of it by pressing together Windows, Shift, and S. When you've done that, this thing at the top will appear, and please select your portion of the image that you want to copy. Go back to the file, click on the cell, and then press Ctrl V. This image will appear, and then you can just readjust it to suit the cell size. So feel free to play around with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, this sheet could also be your vision board. So feel free to insert any image to each of your goal. Please repeat the step for goal number 2, goal number 3, and so on. You don't have to use all of the 7 goals, but the space is there. Now let's move on to the habit tracker shape. Okay, so before you start, please do this step. It's very important for you to do this. Go to File, Settings, here, click Settings, and set up your location and time zone. Once you've done that, please select Save Settings, because otherwise some of these charts and some of the cells won't work properly because they need to track your today's date accurately. So please do that step before you start. So this is how you can track your daily habits here by checking off these boxes here on the day you've completed them. This row here displays your day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on by the first letter of the day. And this row here displays the dates. Your daily progress is shown in this bar chart here and is also displayed as percentage in this row here. Your today's date is automatically highlighted in red. You can see the number of weeks displayed here at the top part, and also the month is displayed here. So now if you scroll all the way to the right, the bottom here, there is a bar. If you scroll all the way to the right, you can see there are 52 weeks allowed in this habit tracker. So you can track up to week 52. So this column here is your day number 1. To set up your start date here, please go to this cell, double click and select your start date. I'm selecting the 26th of February. But to give you an example, I can start at any date. So I can start, for example, on the 15th of February. So day 1 will automatically update, and also the rest of the dates and the rest of the weeks will automatically update accordingly. So in this example, I want to start on the 26th of February. So the next thing to do is to list or write your daily habits in this column here. Feel free to delete or rename this. So these are fully editable. You can edit, rename, or write any daily habits that suits your needs and track them by checking off these boxes on the day you've completed them. Feel free to hide these columns if you want. So if you want to hide all of the weeks that have been completed, you can select all column at once by pressing Shift and then select the last column, right click, and then hide column. That way the checkboxes are closer to the habits, so it's easier to track things. These two columns here are the summary of your progress to date. So this is the percentage, which is your progress to date, and this is the number of days completed, and it can track up to 52 weeks. So you'll be able to track your habit in a yearly cycle. So you can see completion rate and the number of days completed of each of your habits displayed here. In these examples, I have done 21 days of 10 minutes meditation, which is a completion rate of 84%. So those are automatically calculated for you here. And also, when you reach 90% completion, it will automatically highlight them in gray. And that's the same case for the days here. So if I unhide this, you can see whenever it hits over 90%, they will be automatically highlighted in gray. Your today's habit progress is automatically displayed in this cell here. And your overall habit progress to date, is automatically displayed in this cell here. Your most consistent to least consistent habits are displayed in this column here. If you scroll down, you can also write your weekly habits in these rows here and then check them off as you go. I've also added some bonus tips under instruction sheet in this tab here, which is just a guide how you can best align your daily habits with your goals. So feel free to read through those tabs. I've also added more tips at the end of each sheet, so extra tips for goal setting, and the same with habits tracker, extra tips for building habits. Cool, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks for watching.